Hello, welcome to another episode of Read With Me. I'm yours truly, I'm Isabel Badell. I'm here to read with you. We are on chapter 11 of Invented Sell a Banquet with Lori Greiner, and we are heading towards the end of this book. It has been a wild ride because there's certain things about this book that, ignite the fire within me, especially being a person that, like, if I see someone's potential and they're not using it, I'm like, bro, like, you can do so much. You can go out there and get it, or being someone that has gotten a lot of rejection, like a lot till this day. And I'm confident that forever in my life I will experience rejection, but I've experienced a lot of rejection and it hurts a lot of times because, again, I see the best in people, but it's like that rejection allows me to see things in different ways of how can I address this, reaction towards me and not take it personally? How can I really emphasize the benefits of what I'm trying to deliver in a different way that doesn't make the other person feel some type of way, right? So in business, that is a constant play, right? That is constantly trying to be effectively executed, because once that is effectively executed, trust is built. And in the last chapter, which was a pretty juicy one, it had 3 parts. Okay, for chapter 10, it had 3 parts. It went beyond brick and mortar. She's talking about selling on TV and the 20-hour days to prepare to actually sell on TV. Now we're going to get into chapter 11, okay, on this book. It's called Marketing That Really Works. And I'm interested in what she's going to share because she's talking about places like Reddit, Google Hangouts, social media, online forums. Like, she's pretty much a huge advocate of the internet. And we live in an information age, so I'm really excited to get this chapter knocked out and knock you out if you're feeling some type of way. Okay, knock you into excellence, knock you into success, knock you into awareness that there's so much opportunity, and knock out that limiting belief that you might be having because it's not worth it. Okay, that's what I meant by that. So if you catch my drift, join me. All right, make sure to consider hitting the like, the subscribe, and sharing it with a friend. Go ahead and do so right now. Okay. Marketing that really works. And she starts off with this quote: "What counts is not necessarily the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog." That's so true. That's so true. What kind of dog are you? What kind of fight do you have in you? That's what I'm talking about. Let's get in it. Because I'm on television all the time, and I have been from the very beginning, I have not found it necessary to pay for marketing. Television shopping channels are the ideal medium because they give you a selling, advertising, and marketplace platform all rolled into one. That's why you don't see Lori doing freaking, I don't know. Actually, I saw her the other day doing a live with someone else. They were actually pitching a new product, but it was the other person's product, but I'm sure Lori's actually invested in it. Things that are changing, okay? You have to treat your social media as your own TV channel. And I'm pretty sure Gary Vee was the one to share that. If you're not treating your social media outlets, whether it's your Instagram, your Facebook, whether it's your YouTube channel, if you're not treating it as your TV network, then you're missing out on the whole opportunity that's right in front of you. So Anyways, selling on television keeps your product in the front of customers far longer than when they're browsing through a store or even watching an ordinary 30-second commercial. In addition, television demos reinforce your consumers' in-store experiences because so much exposure, there's little chance consumers can pass your product on a retail shelf and not recognize it. Ladies and gentlemen, it takes about 15 touches to make someone aware that you really, really exist. Okay, it takes 12 to 15 touches to get someone to make that decision. So keeping that aware, like she's talking about like making videos, she's talking about showing up, she's talking about creating signs and different putting the item on a shelf. Like if you go into a store today, ask yourself, am I going to buy this? Right? Well, how many times have you seen it? Whether it's consciously or subconsciously, how many times have you seen that product? Think about it. Everything that we've bought right now today, whether it's this shirt, whether it's this watch, whether it's this roll of tape, okay? You've seen that many times before you made the decision to buy that product. In the past, when the only marketing choices available to entrepreneurs were TV, radio, and print, people's mainly daily source of news and entertainment was the television. So there's little need for me to invest. There was little need for me to invest in marketing because I already had a presence where it mattered the most. The advent of social media, however, flung open a door that had previously been unavailable. Now, with the onset of the alternative and immediate source of exposure, I could talk to my existing and potential customers even when I wasn't even on the air. That created a definite marketing opportunity worth pursuing. More important, I was thrilled to have an open line straight to my QVC customers, and I genuinely welcomed the chance to talk to them freely. I am where I am because of them. I love hearing the testimonials on air, and for more recent years, engaging with them on my website, Facebook, and Twitter. And now I get to do it on Shark Tank with their viewers too. So here is how Lori feels you can be social, okay? There has simply never been a better way than social media to inexpensively get your message out there to the large masses of people. Perhaps even more important, social media provides you with a great way to directly connect with your audience and make them feel personally involved with you and your brand. You don't have to use social media exclusively to push and sell. That's boring, and most people will start to ignore you. Damn right. You need to mix things up. A little selling here, a little fun story there, a picture one day, a video next. Make sure to infuse all sides with variety, humor, and authenticity. I try to post about twice a day. In my experience, this technique seems to be the striking ability to make the ideal balance between staying on people's radar and not saturating their feeds or causing overexposure. On Twitter, you may consider tweeting a little more frequently since it's easier to miss posts in the torrent of content that flows every minute. I use social media to get the word out about my appearances in the media and my new products and my upcoming QVC shows or the newest Shark Tank season. On Fridays, I typically post videos about my thoughts on that night's new Shark Tank episode. I also find it effective to run contests and giveaways to pump up excitement about some of my favorite products. It's a way to give back to my loyal followers and customers. People love when I post photos of what's going on behind the scenes at QVC and on Shark Tank. I also like to post photos of me doing totally ordinary things like playing golf, traveling to new places, or cooking in my kitchen. A great post was during the summer of 2013 when Dan and I were visiting a friend's house for the 4th of July. My niece looked down and said, "What's that?" We saw 3 little pink things on the ground. They were moving. I posted a photo of them because I didn't know what they were. We got thousands of answers within minutes. They were baby squirrels, hours old, which had fallen out of a tree. My Facebook followers knew just what to do, and I was happy to say that the squirrels are doing fine. These kinds of posts let my fans get to know me better and build a sense of community. I also post many quotes and words of wisdom And not just because I find them meaningful, but also because people tell me that those quotes inspire them and help fuel their desire to keep following their dreams. Or better yet, pick them up on a hard day. The world can be a rough place. And as we've discussed throughout the book, the entrepreneurial road can be challenging and hard to maneuver. I love knowing that I can be a source of positive energy and encouragement in the midst of all the noise and busyness and stress. Social media gives me a way to connect with my audience. It gives them a reason to trust me and get to know me and reveal that when I step away from the cameras, I'm no different from anyone else. Social media are all about what's happening right now. Think about your websites as your highlight reels, where fans can come to see your greatest hits and spend some time investing what you've done in the past, what you're doing currently, and what's coming up. Think of your social media sites as places to share things in the moment. Your websites is one size fits all, and your home base, your social media can be broad, or you can use ads to target certain demographic ages and interests. In this way, you can make sure that your brand is always relevant to your customers and can find ways to remind them of the role that you can play in their lives. In addition, there's no better gauge than social media to tell you which marketing messages are working and which ones are not. If you get an applause in the form of shares, retweets, and pins, and some engagement in the form of content, comments, and replies, you know you've struck a chord. If you post a piece of content and you hear crickets, you know you've missed your mark. And for those people that are literally like, I post, and all I get is crickets, well, then that means that your content is not sticking. Your content is not resonating. So it sucks. You have to redo it again, and right now, like, it's now more than ever that you need to put quality content up. Like, it's not going to cut it if you're just, creating unquality, connectable, unconnectable content. Okay. Even us, like, we had to completely shatter the limiting belief that, if they know, um, that we set up our presentation in a way it might look ghetto or whatever. Like, I've literally posted where my mic was standing on a jar of peanut butter, because that was literally how I had it set up that day of the webinar. And literally I have a presentation shirt with like my stay in the house shorts. So like, you have to be raw and real with people. You have to show them that side of you, because if you look perfect at all times, if you are just like, you don't have a flaw, then that person's going to look like, okay, they're probably not attainable. They're not accessible, or, so like, depending on your brand, like, I know we follow this tailor in Milano, gorgeous, like freaking, the pieces are insanely perfect, like from the vest to the three-piece suit to the layers to the cufflinks to like the details on the buttons, like, immaculate. The whole thing is like that. Pristine photos, pristine stuff, because that is the brand. But if you are a life coach, if you are a business coach, and all you're posting is stock photos and none of you, get out of here. No one's going to trust your brand. No one's going to trust that. So you have to weigh out what it is that you're trying to convey. Like, what is the message that you have for people? Okay, let's get into this. That's a whole different topic, by the way. Which social site is right for you? There are many social sites to choose from, but the ones that I prefer most are also the most popular. And then she's going to get into some, and I just want to keep this in mind for some people hearing this. This book was made in 2014. Okay, a lot, and I say a lot has changed since then. So don't take what she's about to say literal. Okay, you have to be conscious and you have to be aware of what it is that you're selling. Okay. She goes into Facebook, which is a really great platform. Surely you have a Facebook business page. As soon as you can, build one up. if you are going to go all in on social media, this is the place to start. If you've decided to follow through with your dream and bring your new invention to market, this is a place that you want to start. If you didn't, though, go do it right now. Like, it's time. Your customers are there. They're waiting for you. As of the end of 2012, nearly 2/3 of the adults online use Facebook. It gives businesses an unparalleled way to establish a relationship with their customers and keep them appraised of where the brand is going and how they can be part of it. As with all social media, the most effective way to use Facebook is to put out posts and not only engage with your fans and let them know that you're thinking about them, but also makes them want to share your post with others. So get the most out of Facebook. You want to focus less on the quantity and more on the quality, because the key to a great Facebook presence is high engagement. You need to post things that inspire people, like comment and share what you post so they don't just read it. That's why I like to say things like this post if you're ready for the season of 5 of Shark Tank, as an example. Mark Newberger and Jeffrey Simon, creators of the Drop Stop, created a shareable icon that people can post on each other's walls. I allowed the user to fill in the appropriate names to personalize it, so that, for example, Sarah posts on John's wall, Sarah just filled John's crack with the drop stop. Ha ha ha. People who received the icons thought that they were funny, and they were generally intrigued enough to click on the icon, which took them to the drop stop website. That was clever. And then she goes on Twitter. Unlike Facebook, you don't have to know or even be friends with someone on Twitter to interact with them, which automatically changes the dynamic between you and your audience. It has a younger audience than Facebook, and its hashtag culture demands that the businesses stay extremely up to date on trends so they can appropriately label their tweets to get the biggest reach. I use Twitter to disseminate some of the same content that I post on Facebook, but I also like to use it to give people insight into my thoughts. I love live tweeting during episodes of Shark Tank. I do it every Friday night. It's a great way for me to turn to the record episode into a live event and communicate directly with the Shark Tank followers while the show is playing. Often, the viewers' comment are so funny, we laugh out loud. What's nice about Twitter is that you don't have to wait for people to come to you to talk about your product. You can go straight to them. Searching Twitter via Twitter trends or clicking on hashtags to see who else is talking about a certain topic relevant to your product or brand is a great way to find new customers and engage with them in a conversation. The idea is not to engage with them so you can sell to them, it's to engage with them so that they can decide to have something interesting to say, you're worth following. So the sale will happen later, ultimately, when you tweet something so catchy, profound, or so intriguing that your followers finally head over to your site to see. Maybe today or maybe it's tomorrow, but the product will be there. It's like what Gary Vee was talking about. It's like that jab, 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 hook, right hook or whatever. It's like the give, give, give. Eventually you will get. It's so, so important. That's why with our outreach strategy, like, you have to be intentional and direct because people hate the fluff. But at the same time, you have to do certain steps before actually sending them a message to show them that you're not just randomly sending an automated message. You have to connect, you have to you have to comment real comments, you have to build that trust and credibility. You might have to do this several times if that person is like someone that you really, really want to connect with, because busy people, they don't look at their stuff. So especially if they're busy, the more they don't respond back, the better, because that person is busy. So keep that in mind. All right, here's another one. Pinterest is synonymous with eye candy. Its site primarily, though not exclusively, populated by women. Pinterest is where these women go to collect the images that only they love, things they admire and things that they want to buy, particularly food, fashion, and home decor, although other kinds of products can be there too. Pinterest is a good avenue good venue for social engagement as it is for Facebook or Twitter. It has common capabilities, but not as popular here. Repins and likes serve as great barometers of how well your product resonates with the Pinterest viewers. If you don't see much action, it might be because your photography isn't that good, okay? Pinterest photos often look like they were taken by professionals, so your description isn't appealing enough, or maybe there are too many other things in that category. So by getting people to repin your pin, you will get more people to be aware of it, and that can lead into great sales. It's like a lush, streamlined catalog. But unlike any catalog, you don't have to pick up the phone or head over to a computer to place an order. It's already there. And most of the beautiful Pinterest photographs link straight to a vendor's website where you can actually immediately make that purchase. It's a supremely easy and efficient way for businesses to show off their wares and gains the attention of new potential customers. Notice how like she was able to share that so nicely, you know? You can tell she loves Pinterest, just like we love Instagram. And we love it TikTok too. Another interesting way to use Pinterest is to create boards that can reflect the various sides of your personality or your brand. Of course, I have a board dedicated exclusively to my products, but as I do on Facebook, I love to share inspirational quotes and things that I think that are beautiful and interesting. So I also have a board where I post nothing but those. It gives me another way in which to engage with people. So consumers who are interested in what I do on Shark Tank can also be interested in my products that will also be on my Pinterest for them to go there. Rick Hopper of Readrest has a board where he posts images of products that he finds clever, useful, and funny. The board doesn't do anything to specifically market his own product, but it has a lot of fun to scroll through, and anything that can keep people connected to your Pinterest page for more than a millisecond has value. Remember, as immediately gratifying as social media can be, when it comes to marketing on these platforms and converting brand awareness to sales, slow and steady wins the race. I'll read that again. As immediately gratifying social media can be, when it comes to marketing on these platforms and converting brand awareness to sales, slow and steady wins the race. So important. Another site for entrepreneurs to check out is Reddit. I've worked with this particular platform because it has gotten good traction, specifically on a Q&A forum called AMA, Ask Me Anything. Reddit is a social media site where community centers around the topics rather than individual brands. Because of this distinction, it's not the best place for self-promotion because of the size. Site limits the number of links you can actually submit for any one source. Individuals submit links and community members vote the links up or down. The popularity of the links determines their placements on the site, with the most popular links making it to the front of the page where they have received the most visibility. I use Reddit, just as a side note, I use Reddit to find a lot of my crypto information. So sometimes like the dexes, like let's use crypto.com, they might not have a particular answer. It's so general when you want to get something. And then if you go on Reddit and then you ask that same question, people have those same questions, and there's professionals on Reddit that actually have the right answer. And a lot of the support comes from the Reddit sites. The same goes with Twitter. Like Twitter right now in 2022 is the place to be when it comes to crypto. If you want to know more about a team, if they're doxed or not, if you want to learn more about a specific project, like Twitter is the place where a lot of people are at because it's more of words driven. It's not so much of like, images and all that stuff like Instagram or even TikTok, right? So make sure to check out Twitter and Reddit if you're interested in crypto. Another one is Google Hangouts. Google Hangouts is like a lot like video. Hangouts are a lot like video versions of Reddit AMAs. Users can gather for group chats and video conferences, which can then sync to other sites for broader dissemination. So for example, when I did a Hangout, I synced it to my Twitter and Facebook accounts so that anyone there could actually watch a live Hangout, even when they weren't on Google+. In addition to those Twitter and Facebook viewers, they could actually send their own questions, which then I was able to answer on live, which is kind of like if you go on Zoom and then you stream to YouTube, and then your YouTube channel can actually stream out for you, which is great as well. So then she gets into why she actually loves social media, and I find this to be a really good one because, you know, especially people that were like, I was first introduced to Instagram when I was like in high school, I think. And it was a really great place to post pictures, you know? So I grew up with that. And then when I was in college, that's when I started to see a boom in business for Instagram and Facebook. I mean, that's when it got really real, right? And then obviously now we teach people on how to use Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn to grow their business. So it's always evolving. And eventually, Instagram, Facebook, I think Instagram, Facebook will definitely be there. Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn will also, yeah, those are the three pillars to social media. But who's to say that, you know, in 5 years' time, the metaverse, okay, which now is Facebook, could be completely different and completely change the game. So you have to be aware that social media, even though it's really, really great way to bring awareness to your brand, you also have to do the work to learn what's going on within these platforms. They're constantly changing, and their algorithms, you will never know what's going on. So why does Lori love social media? Let's talk about it. The thing I love best about social media is that so much what they allow me to give in the form of information, it's endless, it's limitless, but what they allow me to receive is even more. Hearing from my customers affirms my faith in humanity. I'm amazed by the diversity of people who follow me on social media. They are all different ages, genders, and backgrounds. It's fun getting to know them and hearing about their lives. Talking to them proves to me that the overall people are really good and caring. From a business perspective, it's great to hear my customers how their opinions and concerns are actually in real time. So for example, when I'm creating new products, I can ask my fans about what color choices they prefer, on what design details would be most useful. I can ask people how they felt about a deal I did or didn't make on the last Shark Tank episode. Their comments and their responses to my questions are always so entertaining and inspiring and downright hilarious. Plus, they help me stay aware of what is important to people and what is most on their minds. While social media serves my business well by allowing me to market to my audience, they also serve me personally because it helps me feel more connected to my fans and reassuring me that I giving them what they want and what they need. Yes, it's a great marketing tool, but it also works if your primary aim is to build community and engage with people. Engaging does not mean posting or tweeting links to your webpage or e-commerce site every 6 minutes. Engaging means really interested in hearing what your customers have to say. It means joining communities and contributing to them. It means sharing other people's content when you think that your audience would enjoy it as much as you did, even if that means sharing the spotlight. It means liking or favoriting when they tweet or post something that you like. It's a lot more than just giving and taking and asking and listening than it is about pushing and promoting. One person who has gotten a lot of press of his personal seamless social media marketing is Justin Timberlake. In particular, he seems to have mastered the art of making his fans feel like he's speaking directly in his own voice, not hiding behind a PR firm. If you spend enough time on his Facebook page, and especially his Twitter feed, where he interprets album promos with birthday greetings with to his friends, asides to fellow performers and direct responses to fans, you come away feeling that you know him. Okay, Lori, now I know what kind of music you like. And I love Justin too. So JT, Lori, she's cool, she's cool. While there are plenty of direct sale pitches, there are far more questions, teasers, photographs, and behind the scene revelations. To help promote his first studio release in 7 years, he hosted a scavenger hunt hiding signed copies of vinyl versions of his new album in locations across the country. Clues to the locations were posted on Instagram photos. People who raced to locations and found the albums had to show record label reps the hashtag that accompanied the Twitter clue to provide they weren't just lucky passerby. By all accounts, his strategic use of social media was one of the most useful album marketing campaigns in recent history, resulting in first week sales of almost 1 million copies, a rare number in today's fractured music industry. Yet, there are a lot of talented pop stars out there who tweet and post and engage, but who don't see those kinds of sales upon their album's release. Of course, none of Timberlake's efforts would amount to anything if he weren't also producing a superb product. But what really made the difference, according to the executives in music and marketing industries, was his tireless and genuine efforts to connect with his fans. You may not be Justin Timberlake, but there is no reason why inventors and entrepreneurs with fabulous products to sell can't model some of the marketing efforts after his to actually gain a loyal following and enhance brand awareness. I love that. I didn't know about Justin Timberlake and what he did. That's pretty awesome. I love JT too. All right, so here comes a couple of different ones. Other marketing options like online forums. Long before Reddit, there were online forums, and many still exist today. They're also going pretty strong. They tend to appeal to niche audiences. Gaming is a highly popular topic for online forums, but they exist for all kinds of interests, from parenting to vegetarianism. The Drop Stop Boys discovered that there are online forums for every make of car with enormous followings. Once they started interacting with the community, sharing ideas, trading stories, offering advice, but never selling, eventually the members started finding out about their product and asked for more information. All the community building generally puts people in a positive, supportive frame of mind. And once one member tried the drop stop and endorsed it, the rest flocked to try it themselves. Buysellads.com. Buysellads.com allows you to pay very little for various social media related boosts, like getting ad placements on an influential blog or paying people with large Twitter followings to tweet for you. Celebrities. It's a long shot, but getting your product in the right celebrity hands can sometimes do amazing things for your brand. One magazine photograph of a celebrity using your product and your website may see, keyword may, see a tremendous boost in traffic. Remember, the rule for matching celebrity product to hold true here as it does in infomercials. It has to make sense. A better strategy than spending a lot of time and money courting celebrities is to make sure that your individual customers love it and encourage them to share their positive experiences with others, both in person and through social media. Celebrities find out about many products the same way everyone else does. They see them on TV, they bump into a friend who uses them, they read their cousin's status update about them. That's when they decided that they wanted those products for themselves. Kelly Preston told me that her husband, John Travolta, was watching QVC one day when we were both on. I came on to sell my weekender bag, and the next thing she knew, he wanted 3. I was psyched. I like John Travolta, and he's a pilot. As far as I know, no one has photographed him using the bags, but you have to think that he spends a lot of time around other people who travel frequently. All it would take is one compliment on that bag to start a conversation around it, which might then lead to another sale. Do the heavy lifting first, make the quality product. And as word of mouth builds, you'll have a better chance of getting it into celebrity hands. So for the record, on the occasion when you can get a celebrity endorsement, it can be a big impact. One day, my company got a call from the editor of O magazine telling us that they wanted to see my silver safekeeper to the letter O. A couple of weeks later, they requested 30 more boxes in a variety of different letters. So they were going to be giving away as party favors for a client in California. Later, we found out that the party was at Oprah's house. It turned out that Gayle King had seen the silver safekeeper and showed it to Oprah, and they had decided it would be a perfect party favor. We were so flattered, honored, and grateful, and even more so that they actually featured it on the Oprah's Favorite Things in that magazine. So getting a thumbs up from Oprah resulted in the single largest boost in sales of this product. I can't wait. I can't wait to hang out with Oprah and Ellen. She's on my dream board. Okay. So social marketing complements traditional marketing. With so much of this chapter devoted to emphasizing the benefits of social media, you might think that no one needs or ever invest in traditional marketing avenues like television, print, or radio anymore. Well, not at all. Traditional marketing works and works really well. However, if your funds are limited, it doesn't make sense to spend a fortune when you can reach your consumers for free, or at least for significantly less than you'd pay for a print ad or an infomercial. Social media marketing will cost you far less than any traditional marketing platforms possibly could, and you could potentially reach a lot more people. So if you do adopt to pay for some traditional marketing and you want to make the most of your investment, it is imperative that you figure out ways to integrate social media into it. Now that the vast majority of people turn to the internet and their electronic devices for their news and entertainment, social media marketing must be a main focus for your marketing. If you have to make sure that your marketing reaches your consumers, whether they're offline or online, ideally your ideal market will often highlight events surrounding your brand and other ways in which consumers can interact with your product out into the real world. And your traditional marketing will enforce your online presence and remind consumers to look for when they are out there too. So for example, if you print postcards and hand them out on trade shows, street festivals, or sales events, make sure that your website is clearly listed, like include icons indicating that you have a presence on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, all of them, okay? And any other social media platforms that you use. Many businesses use testimonials taken from their social media sites when writing ads or marketing copy. Here it is, marketing open doors. The internet is your friend. If you're having trouble breaking down doors and getting into retail venues, concentrate on boosting your online networks and fans so that the buyers will take you seriously. Build a fantastic website, create Facebook pages, and start posting lots of interesting, colorful updates. Tweet to build your followers and create community around your product or your brand. Try initiating a Groupon offer if appropriate. Sell on Etsy. Do whatever it takes to build traction and hype. Do whatever it takes to build traction and hype. Get your product in the right celebrities' hands. Do what you got to do. Can you get a local television personality to interview you or feature you on a product for you to show? Use all the resources and all the creativity that you have to get that product into the public eye. Get that word of mouth machine cranking so that your product is talked about and as seen as widely as possible. Create a perfect storm. Create a perfect storm. And I believe there's a book out there, Creating the Perfect Storm. I want to read it. Side note. Hit every marketing platform as hard as fast as possible. I've blitzed the market with almost every product I've introduced. This strategy has worked for me, and I've seen it work for many others too. No matter what your product is, if you can corner the market before someone else can, even if the competition eventually tries to knock you off, if your product's name, if it's your product's name that will be on everyone's hand, that is where you win. Okay, it's best known that wins, not best product. It's best known. Okay. Once you've got brand recognition and loyalty, you'll have almost everything you need for success, because buyers don't like to turn their backs on products that they've already are selling very well. Yes, that's so true. Here's a marketing to-do list. 1, set up your Facebook page. 2, set up a Twitter account. Set up a Pinterest page. Research and follow some of your favorite brands to see what they're doing online and how it's effective. Create a shareable branded piece of content like an icon, logo, or image with a catchy phrase that will entertain or inspire people enough to compel them to pass it on to others. This is a really interesting one right here. Create a shareable branded piece of content, kind of like if you can create an awesome reel, which is the best thing right now within Instagram and even Facebook and obviously Twitter. Okay, if you can create a specific reel that people can share, that's a really good one. So shit, that's how you can go viral. Okay, so that was a really good chapter, a lot to unpack in there. We're going to get into the next chapter. The final chapter of this book is chapter 12, where she's talking about keeping the dream going and expanding with diversity. So excited to see you in the next one. Hope you got a lot out of it. And I sure did. I got a lot of written down. So I got a lot of scribbles, a lot of notes. Make sure to like, comment, share, do what you got to do to ensure that someone today can hear the message that will transform their life forever. So I'll see you in the next video. Talk to you soon. Have a blessed day ahead.